My work in groups is pretty intricate and challenging at times, but since I've been a group leader for 19 years, anytime there's a challenge in group or upset or uncomfortable moment, I go right into it. Because I feel like that's the only way to help people is to not be afraid of the things that are causing them pain, but to help them figure out what it is and not to be skittish at all about getting in the fire, so to speak, getting in the center of the tornado. Um, so there's this thing that happens in groups that's really, really interesting. And sometimes if people are able to slow down and calm down and pace themselves, they can learn a lot. But people trigger each other in group. And it might be like that person is the affair of my husband. That person is a person that I don't have the same moral judgment as them. That person, I judge them a lot for how they're behaving in their situation. Right. And so sometimes I hope that group members take some reflection before they say all those things out loud, because people are fragile in groups. And oftentimes people do. They will call me and tell me, this group is making me upset. So when I help them look at their trigger in that piece of work, there's a ton of gems. Because if that person is the affair of their husband, the replicating the person that broke up their marriage, there's something really to look at and understand um, about why that trigger exists, right? Because in a way, that trigger or that action on both sides was in the relationship. And I'm not saying that someone's responsible for someone's affair, like, I made you have an affair, or I'm internalizing that because I wasn't good enough, you had an affair. But there was a dynamic of needs not getting met, of misunderstanding, of someone going into a different direction, and the other person feeling like that was maybe a deal breaker, turning against them. So there's a lot to work out in that way. And sometimes when people can hang in there and see differences and understand and know that triggers are giving you information about, it was said well in my group today, about that whatever that person was doing in the relationship that hurt really had more to do with them than with the person that got hurt. If that was the way that person expressed that they weren't feeling close to another person and they were doing that by having an affair, which creates a lot of damage, then that's not really a healthy way to communicate that information. Like, I'm feeling really lonely, or I don't feel attracted to you anymore. Whatever that might be, that's not the best way to get that information across, right? That is a very passive aggressive way, creating a lot of chaos and drama. So I think that's the most important thing to think about triggers, and I'm going to leave it at that, is that when you're triggered by something, it's usually reminding you of a pain of something that happened to you. And what happened to you was about that person, that they did something to communicate something to you that was really their maybe lack of capacity of being able to let you know about something that was hard for them, hurtful to them, or that they just needed to tell you about their feelings. And they did it in a way that is like so painful and so hurtful, you can't bear it. And so it continues to come up. And this could be like parent-child, a bully in the playground, those kinds of things. So I really want, one of the reasons why I'm talking to you about this today is I really want people to understand that when you're in a group, lots of things come up. Some of the things that are coming up are like, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to talk about that. And my motto in group is keep the focus on yourself. But when you start hearing what someone else is saying and it starts bothering you, there's something about it in it for you to explore.